See, emotional intelligence isn't about being perfectly calm or always positive. It's about how you handle yourself and how you make other people feel. It's the secret ingredient that makes people say, I trust you. I want to be around you. And here's the thing. Most people miss the signs. They don't even know they have high emotional intelligence because it shows up in the small, subtle behaviors. Let's break them down, one by one, and I'll bet you'll see yourself in more of these than you think. Point 1. You pause before you react. You know that moment when someone disrespects you and your brain screams, say something back, but instead, you breathe, you wait, you think. That pause, that's emotional intelligence, because in that pause, you're choosing wisdom over impulse. And trust me, that tiny pause is the difference between burning a bridge and building one. Think about it. How many times have people regretted words they couldn't take back? One heated sentence can destroy years of trust. But when you pause, you're giving yourself the power to respond instead of react. It's like driving. If you slam the gas every time someone cuts you off, you're going to crash. But if you tap the brakes, check the road, then move, suddenly, you're in control. That's what emotional intelligence does. And here's the real beauty. People notice. They may not say it, but deep down, they respect you more. They see someone who doesn't let anger own them, someone who holds their ground with quiet strength. But pausing is just the beginning, because emotional intelligence isn't only about what you don't say. It's about what you can sense, even when nothing is said at all. Point 2. You read between the lines. Ever notice how you can feel when someone's upset? Even if they smile and say, I'm fine? That's not luck. That's empathy. You're tuned into the energy people carry. You pick up on the sigh hidden behind their words, the tension in their shoulders, the silence that says more than their voice. That's emotional radar, and most people don't have it, but you do. See, not everyone listens with their ears. Most listen just to reply. But you listen with your heart. You notice the details, the way someone avoids eye contact, the way they laugh a little too hard, like they're covering something. It's like being able to hear music others can't. Everyone else is dancing to the loud beat, but you're tuned into the quiet notes in the background. That's what makes people trust you, because they feel seen, even when they can't find the words. And here's the magic. When you pick up on what's unsaid, you give others a gift. You let them know, I see you, I hear you, you're not invisible. And speaking of silence, the next behavior proves just how powerful it really is. Point 3. You know when to stay quiet. Most people think strength is found in talking more, but you know real strength, it's found in silence. When others argue, you don't have to jump in. When someone vents, you don't rush to fix it. Sometimes you just listen. Because you've learned this simple truth, silence doesn't mean weakness. Silence often means wisdom. Think about it. How many arguments spiral out of control just because both sides refuse to stay quiet? But when you choose silence, you're not losing. No, you're actually winning. You're saving energy, protecting your peace, and letting the storm pass without getting pulled into it. It's like standing at the edge of a raging river. Everyone else jumps in, gets swept away by the current, but you wait, you watch, and because of that, you cross safely when the waters calm down. And here's what people often don't realize. Silence builds trust. When someone's pouring out their heart, they don't always want advice. They just want to feel heard. And by holding back your words, you give them space to breathe. But there's another quiet habit, one that people rarely notice in themselves until it sets them apart completely. Point 4. You own your mistakes. Look, nobody enjoys being wrong, but you don't hide it. You don't point fingers. You say, yeah, that one's on me. And here's the crazy part. Instead of losing respect, people respect you even more. Because admitting mistakes doesn't make you smaller. It makes you human. It makes you trustworthy. Think about it. We've all seen leaders, bosses, even friends who refuse to admit when they mess up. They twist the story, blame someone else, or pretend it never happened. But deep down, nobody forgets, and slowly, trust fades away. Now compare that to the person who admits it straight up. I made the wrong call, I'll fix it. Instantly, walls drop. People don't see weakness, they see strength. Because it takes courage to say, I was wrong. It's like watching someone stumble while carrying a heavy load. Most would pretend nothing happened. But when you admit it, you're saying, yeah, I tripped, but I'm strong enough to stand back up. That's powerful. And once you've learned to own your mistakes, another behavior starts showing up naturally. Point 5. You don't need the spotlight. You don't crave being the center of attention. You don't have to prove your worth by outshining others. Instead, you clap when someone else wins. You celebrate people, even when the spotlight isn't on you, because you know, real confidence isn't loud, it's steady. See, most people chase applause. They need validation to feel valuable, but you? No, not you. You don't measure your worth by who's watching. You know your value isn't tied to a stage or a microphone. It's in who you are when no one's looking, and that's rare. Because celebrating others without envy takes strength. It's like a candle lighting another flame. It doesn't lose its fire. It just spreads more light. That's what you do. And here's the truth. People remember that. They remember how you made them feel when it was their turn to shine. They remember the friend who stood in the shadows and cheered the loudest. That's why those who don't chase the spotlight often shine the brightest in people's hearts. And that steady confidence leads us right into the 6th behavior. Point 6. You control what you can and let go of what you can't. Here's the truth. Life throws chaos at everyone. But while others panic, you keep your calm. Why? Because you've learned to separate what's in your control and what's not. You don't waste energy trying to change people, fix the past, or control the uncontrollable. You focus on your actions. That's discipline. That's maturity. Think of it like standing in the middle of a storm. Most people try to fight the rain, yelling at the clouds, wishing the sky would clear. But you grab an umbrella, take a deep breath, and keep walking. That's what control looks like, choosing your response when you can't choose the storm. And here's the thing. This mindset doesn't just protect your peace, it inspires others. When people see you staying calm in the middle of chaos, it's like a lighthouse in rough waters. They look at you and think, if they can stay steady, maybe I can too. That's real strength, not controlling everything around you, but controlling yourself within it. And once you master that, another subtle behavior becomes impossible to ignore. Point 7. You make people feel safe. Ever wonder why people open up to you? It's not because you have the answers. It's because they feel safe around you. Your energy says, I'm not here to judge. I'm here to listen. And that's rare. So rare. Because in a world full of noise, you've become a quiet place people can finally rest. Think about it. Most of the time, people aren't searching for solutions. They're searching for someone who simply understands. Someone who doesn't roll their eyes, interrupt, or twist the conversation back to themselves. And you give them that space. It's like sitting by a fireplace on a freezing night. You may not change the storm outside, but you create warmth inside. That's what you are to people, a safe place, a steady presence, a reminder that they're not alone. And here's the beautiful part. People will never forget how you made them feel. They may forget your exact words, but the comfort, the calm, the peace you brought to their storm will stay with them forever. And that brings us to the final behavior, the one that ties all the others together. Point 8. You choose growth over ego. When life challenges you, you don't play the victim. You don't get stuck in, why me? Instead, you ask, what can I learn from this? That shift from ego to growth is the highest level of emotional intelligence, because it means no matter what happens, you win. Either you succeed or you grow. And honestly, that mindset makes you unstoppable. See, most people let their ego run the show. Their pride keeps them trapped. They'd rather stay the same than admit they have more to learn. But you see challenges as teachers, failures as feedback, setbacks as setups for comebacks. It's like lifting weights. The resistance feels heavy, uncomfortable, even painful. But over time, that resistance makes you stronger. Life works the same way. Every obstacle you face is shaping you, building you, refining you into someone greater. And here's what makes this so powerful. People with ego chase comfort, but people with growth, they chase progress. And progress always wins in the long run. That's why this single behavior doesn't just make you emotionally intelligent, it makes you unstoppable. So, let me ask you, How many of these 8 behaviors do you see in yourself? Even one of them, yes, even just one, is proof that you're operating on a higher level than most. And if you saw yourself in more than a few, oh, let me tell you, you're not just emotionally intelligent. You're someone people will remember, someone they will trust, someone they will follow. Because at the end of the day, emotional intelligence isn't about controlling others. No, it's about mastering yourself. And once you conquer that, you can conquer anything. This is Get Conquer. If this hit home, share it with someone who needs it. Because the truth is, the world needs more people like you.